Hey, what's up YouTube? It's ICU, and today Apple has officially released iOS 14 and iPadOS 14 to the general public. And in this video, we're not only going to be talking about jailbreaking for the latest firmware, but also for iOS 13.7 and kind of go over the situation as a whole, because it's been a while since we've talked about jailbreaking, and there are a number of things that we need to discuss, ranging from an iOS 13.7 jailbreak for both A12 and A13 devices, as well as older devices with Checkra1n, all the way up to iOS 14. But first, I wanted to thank you guys, our viewers. You are absolutely awesome, and we definitely wouldn't be here without you guys. I know it's been a little bit rocky as of late, and we haven't really been posting very frequently, but your support means the entire world to us. We posted a few things on the community tab, so if you haven't checked in there lately, that's where we're going to be kind of talking to you guys on a more personal level. And with that said, one final prelude, there will be timestamps down below in the description because we are going over so much in today's episode. Okay, so getting into things here, if you guys are new to the channel, first up, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe and ding that notification bell. That way you guys will know the very second we release new coverage. I'm trying a new thing here on the channel where I only really cover topics pertaining to jailbreaking when they are super important. That's one of the reasons why we haven't posted here in a while, and that way you guys kind of just get the most important information. We will parse through everything and only issue updates as we see fit if something important is about to happen or is currently happening. And in today's case, obviously that's the release of iOS 14. I know there are going to be so many questions from you guys, so let me just answer right off the bat. No, there is not an iOS 14 jailbreak for either brand new devices or older devices compatible with the Checkra1n jailbreak. We're going to go exactly into why, but first, if you guys have yet to, be sure to visit jailbreakcheck.com. Inside your browser of choice, it is a dynamic status checker page for the iOS 14 jailbreak and also the 13.7 jailbreak for newer devices. So what I mean by this is essentially this page is your one-stop shop for everything related to jailbreaking. It contains all important and pertinent information. Everything you need to know about jailbreaking can be found here on this one URL. And like I said, it changes based on what's going on in the realm of jailbreaking, so you can just bookmark that URL once and check back regularly for additional information. Okay, so let's get a little bit granular here. As for newer devices, meaning those powered by an A12 or A13 CPU or up. Now this includes everything ranging from the iPhone XS/XR series up to the iPhone 11 series. And also too, this includes iPads powered by the A12 series CPUs, which is everything from the 2018 iPad Pro and up. Those devices are the newer ones. They will be the ones that I reference as newer devices in today's video. So that is a very clear distinction. Whereas everything from the iPhone 10 and older, I will reference as older devices. Okay, these are ones powered by the A11 CPU and below. So I wanted to make that ever so clear, and I wanted to really define that first. So the newer devices will not get a jailbreak for iOS 14 as quickly as the older devices will. What this means is that you should not update to iOS 14 if you're at all concerned with jailbreaking. You should just avoid it entirely until a jailbreak is released. Usually when a jailbreak is pushed out, there is a small window in which we know which firmware it's going to target, and you can make your update or upgrade to said firmware at that point in time. Again, if you are insistent on maintaining your device's jailbroken state, and if you did already happen to update to iOS 14, great news, we already did a downgrade tutorial, so you can go back to iOS 13.7. As of recording this video, eventually though, Apple Apple will stop signing it for newer devices, so your window is very limited. But just visit downgradeios.com inside your browser of choice for full instructions. You can also check out our video, which is linked in your cards. If you're already locked out of jailbreaking and you're on something like 13.5.1 through 13.7, you might also still want to avoid iOS 14 because there is a potential jailbreak coming for you. We're going to get into that. But first, let's talk older devices quickly and briefly. So if you are on iOS 13.7 with an older device, you can still jailbreak. Check this out. So inside of Settings, followed by General, and then About, you can see that this iPhone 10 is running iOS 13.7 and we are fully jailbroken with Checkra1n. Now, I accomplished this using the exact same method I detailed and outlined in my iOS 13.6.1 Checkra1n jailbreak tutorial. And for that reason, we are actually going to put that tutorial at the end of this video for those of you who have these older devices and you want to jailbreak on iOS 13.7. The latest iOS 13 firmware. If you want to jailbreak with an older device, again, limited to the iPhone 10 and below, just be sure to stick around, or you can skip with the timestamp down below in the description. This, of course, is going to be a semi-tethered jailbreak. And for those of you who are new to the scene, basically that just means you need to plug your device into your computer and rerun the jailbreak application every single time you want to boot up and use your jailbreak. You can still reboot and use stock iOS, but if you want anything from Cydia that you've obtained, such as tweaks, or to actually use Cydia itself, you've got to boot tethered utilizing Checkra1n. Now, if you might be wondering, well, why can't I use Checkra1n on newer devices? Again, if you are new to the scene, great question. It's really very simple. It boils down to the fact that the iPhone 10 and older are powered by an A11 CPU, which is susceptible to an exploit known as Checkmate. It takes advantage of a hardware vulnerability inside the silicon of the chips themselves, the A11 and below, that Apple closed with the release of the A12 CPU found in the iPhone XS and XR series. So that is permanently closed, but what it also means is that the iPhone 10 and older can jailbreak permanently for life, just so long as the Checkra1n team continues to update the Checkra1n application. And as of now, Checkra1n has not been updated to support iOS 14. So this is why I also recommend older devices stay below iOS 14 if you want to jailbreak. Now, I do foresee them updating Checkra1n, but it might take a little bit of time. In fact, if we look back, the last Checkra1n release was for iOS 13.5, and prior to that, the 13.5 release from Apple actually broke Checkra1n temporarily until the group was able to update it. We're faced with a similar situation right now. Checkra1n has to be updated to include support for iOS 14. The exploit itself is not patched. Again, it can never be patched, so this is not going to be as hard as creating a full-fledged jailbreak from scratch. The team simply needs to go in and update Checkra1n to function with iOS 14 because Apple has obviously changed things from iOS 13 to iOS 14. It is a huge jump, but it's not just as simple as I make it sound. Obviously, it does require a good bit of work, and there are a number of patches that Apple broke with the release of iOS 14, so it is still going to be a pretty decent effort for the group. However, again, the jailbreak is not patched. The main exploit, which is what it relies on, will persist indefinitely. Okay, so now for newer devices, let's talk about things and why you wouldn't want to update to iOS 14. So if we hop on over here to Twitter to this individual, he has been referenced a number of times in the community over the last couple of months, primarily for this tweet here back in August, where they tweeted out, quote, iOS 13.6.1 iPhone 11 Pro Max using custom-built kernel read/write primitives, completely got rid of the TPF0 method. I'll make it public when it's appropriate, #jailbreak. And they're just running through, again, their custom-built kernel read/write application that accomplishes essentially the same as TFP0, but without that patch. And this would essentially allow for a jailbreak. And they followed it up just 2 days ago saying 13.7 is okay. Now, I haven't talked about this for a few different reasons. Firstly, this individual, while definitely is known in the community and followed by trusted authorities, has not actually proven themselves by releasing something to the general public. Simply showcasing these jailbreaks and these private jailbreaks at that is one thing versus releasing is something completely separate. And they tweeted that back out originally for 13.6.1 in August, and we haven't seen anything as of yet. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to really let you guys know and get you hyped up when we don't have any clear track record and we don't have any clear release date. Of course, we never get release dates or timeframes with jailbreak utilities really, but this case is different simply because it's not someone like Hacker Pwn to Own, and for that reason, we haven't really discussed it too much. However, it is still something to be excited for because it could mean that you could jailbreak on 13.7 sooner than you could on iOS 14 on a newer device. And it is always better to stay on as low of a firmware as possible. Now, the really cool thing here is that from iOS 13.6 all the way up to iOS 13.7, nothing has really changed from a security standpoint perspective. Apple has not closed any known exploits or vulnerabilities in those releases, which is great. It means that you can update if you are on a newer device to 13.7. If you've already been locked out of the latest uncovered jailbreak and you're on 13.6 or higher, feel free to go to iOS 13.7 because as of now, we do not know of any security patches in those releases. Apple has not made them public. They always do when they close those vulnerabilities. So again, like I said, we could see a 13.7 and below jailbreak prior to seeing an iOS 14 jailbreak. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated, but that's really everything that we know right now. And as for an iOS 14 jailbreak for newer devices, because of course they cannot use the Checkra1n jailbreak, which will be updated sooner than we will get a new jailbreak for newer devices that is not Checkra1n. Yeah, we really just don't know too much as of yet. There have been a couple of things here and there, like for instance, for iOS 14 beta, there was a group that actually highlighted a potential private jailbreak on that. And of course, Pangu also showcased a private jailbreak at a hacking convention semi-recently. But again, nothing too exciting or nothing that points to a sure thing public release, and that's really what I want to focus on and deliver the news to you guys. I don't really see the need for hyperbole or to push things too much when obviously there's really nothing there. I just want to let you guys know the most accurate information as it unfolds. So for that reason, I will keep you updated and in the loop anytime something develops, because remember, the jailbreak situation is dynamic, never static. Things could change at a moment's notice, and if they do, I will be the first to let you guys know. So I really appreciate your support and you guys hitting that subscribe button and dinging that notification bell. It really helps the channel out. And yeah, guys, that's it for this jailbreak update, really. Now, at the end of this video, as I mentioned, I'm going to show you guys how to jailbreak iOS 13.6.1, which also applies to iOS 13.7 on older devices utilizing Checkra1n. So if you're on 13.7, you can follow that exact procedure. We're about to get into it now. And like I said, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is ICU signing out. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's ICU. I'm back, and today we're talking about jailbreaking and iOS 13.6.1, which, if you didn't know, was released by Apple yesterday. And in addition to fixing the green screen issue that a lot of iPhone owners were experiencing, it also has some other under the hood adjustments and fixes. So 13.6.1. In this video, we're going to, again, talk about jailbreaking, and I'm going to show you how to jailbreak 13.6.1 on an older device. This is an iPhone 10, as you can see, on iOS 13.6.1. Now next, yes, theoretically, you can jailbreak utilizing Windows. You do need to do a bit of a workaround. However, it does still work. So that Windows tutorial will be linked down below in the description. The steps, once you get it functioning, And once you get the essentially Linux installation bootable on your Windows-based PC, are pretty much identical to the steps that we're going to go over here. It just does look a little bit different because it's the GUI version via a command line instead of just straight up GUI, and it's just more simplified. But essentially what you do need to do, this is very important, if you are using Windows and you are using this workaround, again, it still works today using boot rain, is to essentially enable the option to jailbreak unsupported or untested firmwares. Remember, because of the low-level nature of the exploit in the utility we're about to talk about, it is possible to jailbreak iOS 13.6.1 on supported devices using that method, but you really do have to go into options and enable that first. Otherwise, it will talk about how your device is supported, but the firmware is not. So that is very key, very crucial that you guys understand this when attempting this on Windows. Now, next, there are a couple of other limitations, but we've pretty much already gone over them. Namely, the fact that this does not support the newest devices. Really, it only supports older devices. Again, there is no official Windows support as of now, but the workaround still does work so long as you do toggle that option to enable untested firmwares. And of course, you do need a computer. You simply cannot jailbreak without one because, like I said, this uses a very low-level exploit. It has to actually exploit it over USB. That is literally the only way, guys. It cannot be booted when it's actually delivering the jailbreak payload. Again, has to be that super low level state. That's why we do enter DFU mode, which you'll see in a little bit. But because of that, the byproduct is that the jailbreak will exist forever. It may need a couple of updates here and there in the future just because Apple could break some things, but they will never be able to patch this exploit on supported devices. Again, the iPhone 10 and older. So that is one very, very key advantage of something like Checkra1n. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, we can continue. Really what you guys need is just one thing in addition to your computer, which is ideally a Mac. That's what I'm showing you guys how to jailbreak with now. If you have that Windows PC, you're gonna need to utilize that workaround. Everything for that is linked down below in the description, including my tutorial, which the steps are basically exactly the same still to this date. And then also, of course, that written article with all download links. Everything can be found below. And then you do need a USB cable to connect your device to your computer and a supported device, and that's really it. Also, you do need a Wi-Fi connection for a little bit later in the tutorial, but at any rate, what I want you guys to do, since I am showing you how to do this on Mac in this tutorial, is simply navigate to the corresponding article for Mac. It is the very, very first link in the description, and scroll down once you do, and I want you guys to look for this big green Checkra1n download button. I just want you guys to click it, and then you're going to be redirected. Once the site gathers all of the necessary download links, you'll be redirected a second time, and I just want you guys to search right for where it says click here. Now, excuse me, I am going to zoom in here. We are not screen recording, remember. I am too lazy to edit through that right now, but essentially I just want you guys to click right where it says click here, and it will open a new tab, and then you should be able to download Checkra1n. Just click on get the beta now, and then click on download for Mac OS, and it's just going to put it inside of your downloads folder. So at that point, after downloading it, you can see the download is right here, download for Mac OS. You just want to open up your downloads folder, and then you want to mount the .dmg or disk image file. And once it is mounted, you will just receive a little window that looks like this. It's a Finder window, and you just need to drag Checkra1n over inside of the applications folder. And after you do that, you might receive this message. If you've already used Checkra1n in the past, it will just want to replace it with the latest version, but chances are good if this is your first time jailbreaking your device with Checkra1n, you won't get this message, so don't worry about it. If you do, however, just click on replace, and then you can just open up your applications folder and then open Checkra1n. The first time you attempt to, you will receive this message right here. let's zoom in. It basically says that Checkra1n cannot be opened because it was downloaded from the internet and the developer cannot be verified. That's fine. Just click on cancel. And we need to open up system preferences. It's the thing that looks like settings basically. And then go to security and privacy right here inside of system preferences. And I want you guys to then go to general if you're not there already. And you can see toward the bottom, it says that Checkra1n was blocked from use because it is not from an identified developer. The exact same message basically. So we're going to click right where it says open anyway to the right of that. And then you're going to click open to the pop-up. This is just a security implementation put in place by Apple to, again, help prevent any sort of malware from running on your computer, but Checkra1n is completely fine. Then you just need to open it one more time after clicking open to that pop-up from within inside applications, and you will be able to use Checkra1n. And now comes the fun part. Let me just get this adjusted here real quick to look best for this segment of the video. And what you need to do is just connect your device to your computer via a USB cable, and you are going to get a message inside of Finder. If this is the first time connecting your device to your computer, you can see right here, I have this message. It asks me to trust the computer, and basically what I'm going to do is just tap on trust on my iPhone here, put in my passcode, and then inside of Finder on your computer under your device section, it's also going to have just a little trust button right here. Just click on that and then the connection should be established between the devices and you can proceed. Again, that only happens if it's really the first time connecting your device to your computer. So at this point now inside of Checkra1n, we can proceed by clicking on options, and then we're going to check off the box up at the top to allow untested iOS, iPadOS, tvOS versions. Now at some point in the future, Checkra1n will be updated to include native support for iOS 13.6.1 and above, but as of now you can see it says sorry, iPhone 10 Global is supported, but iOS 13.6.1 is not. This is the exact same message that you might receive inside of Checkra1n, or rather that you will receive inside of Checkra1n if attempting to do the workaround on Windows that I mentioned previously. But like I said, you just go to options, you allow that capability, and then you can proceed. So now you can click on start. It's just going to give you a little warning letting you know that you're going to proceed at your own risk. Just go ahead and click on OK. And at this point, if you guys really want to, you can create a backup of your device on your computer or inside of iCloud. That way you can restore your data if anything happens, though I've never had any issues personally with Checkra1n, but again, you're using it at your own risk, so know that in advance. I'm clicking on OK here, and it's just letting me know that it's going to put my device into DFU mode. So once again, I'm going to zoom out, and we're going to get the best view possible for this shot right here. And I'm going to click on Start, or rather Next, and it's going to put my device into recovery mode, basically. So that is just needed to ensure that there is no file system corruption once you do enter DFU mode. So you can see we are in recovery mode. It just looks like a little computer with a USB cable connected to it. And right here, it's letting you know that you're going to have to go through the motion to enter DFU mode. It tells you the steps to the left here to prepare you in advance. Once you hit start, it's going to proceed with a countdown. So iPhone 10 and iPhone 8 style devices are exactly what you're going to see here in this video and what I'm going to do. However, if you do have an older device, the steps are a little bit different, but basically you're either just going to use the home button or the side button in some combination with volume down. It will let you guys know inside of Checkra1n exactly the procedure for your specific device. So I'm going to hit start. This is a little bit tricky since I am so far away from my monitor right here and the camera's having a little bit of a hard time, but I'm going to click on start and I'm going to hold down the side and volume down buttons together for roughly 3 seconds, then release the side button and continue holding volume down until it does enter DFU mode. You can see we are inside of DFU mode successfully now, and it's just proceeding through the jailbreak process. It is actually going to exploit the boot ROM presently, and you'll see this customary scrolling text. It looks pretty awesome, honestly, and that's probably going to be the thumbnail for this video if it's really in focus. Super hard to tell here with the way I'm recording. Seriously, I look like a gymnast at this point trying to get everything in frame. Because the monitor is pretty huge. I actually got a new monitor. I may talk about that in a subsequent video, but it is a 49-inch monitor. It's pretty awesome. Okay, now at this point, you'll see we do have a new Checkra1n application on our device's springboard right here in a blank space. And you do need an active internet connection like I mentioned previously, so you do need to be connected to Wi-Fi or LTE. And then just open up Checkra1n and then tap on Cydia, followed by install Cydia at the bottom. And now it's just going to download the base system and it's going to actually install Cydia on your device. And again, it will be fully jailbroken after this process. Now, keep in mind that this is a tethered jailbreak. We're gonna launch up Cydia while I explain this. What this means is that anytime you wanna use Cydia or your jailbreak stuff, so to speak, from Cydia, you essentially have to plug it into a computer and rerun through the same steps. It's super, super easy though. Like I said, remember, all you really do is just plug in, go to options, allow untested iPadOS or iOS versions, and then click on start. It's gonna put you into recovery mode and then just follow the steps to enter DFU mode and boom, you're done. So, like I said, you need to do that every time you reboot your device, but if you just go through a simple respring, you don't have to worry about that. Only a full-fledged reboot, and you can still use all of your system applications. So everything that's not related to your jailbreak, when you do reboot your device, or if it dies and powers up, but once it does that, you're gonna have to actually run through Checkra1n again to get everything functioning properly. So I'm going to tap right here on complete upgrade. This is exactly what I want you guys to do as well. And you'll see that it actually functions. We are fully jailbroken on the latest firmware, iOS 13.6.1, and we can successfully install packages from Cydia. That's it, guys. How awesome is that? One last thing, I want to go inside of Cydia and confirm that we are running the latest version. Okay, so at the bottom right here, you'll see Cydia does in fact confirm that we are running an iPhone 10,3 or an iPhone global version with iOS 13.6.1 and the latest iteration of Cydia. How awesome is this, guys? Fully jailbroken on the latest firmware. So don't forget everything I've said throughout the duration of this video. It's all super important stuff. And of course, if you're looking for things to get from Cydia now, then check out some of our top tweaks videos. You can find those down below as well. And yeah, guys, hope you like this one. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.